Yo, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, the franchise player, Double B Bad Blood, joining you once again on another installment of the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast brought to you by BodySlam.net. We have a special interview in the house tonight. Indie wrestling superstar. This man has been around. I mean, the guy has done so much from AOW in California all the way down to Ohio Valley Wrestling to what I'm really jelly about right now, Heroes and Legends. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about my boy, Sam Knight. Sam, welcome to this Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast, my friend.
What's up, man? Thank you for having me again. I appreciate it. This time I think I'm more prepared.
Right? Yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, it's really funny because I've known Sam a long time. And I just realized, I don't know, last year, we share the same birthday.
Twinsies.
That makes it double cool, ladies and gentlemen, because we are straight up twinsies up in here.
Yes,
So,
sir.
I mean, you've been around for a while, man. Currently,
Yep.
you're doing the most. I mean, God, look at your career, man. You've been all over the place. I mean, just recently, like as in 2021, you were Revolution Championship Wrestling. You're at Ohio Valley. You're doing the AWR. That's Asylum Championship Wrestling for you guys. I know Hybrid Championship Wrestling. Man, amped up. I'm still mad. I was supposed to be doing that amped up too, but my boy still ain't got back at me. It's all good though. But yeah, you've been around for way long time. We talk like 2009. I remember the Insane Wrestling League out there in California.
Yeah. Yep.
So tell these people what's up with you, man. What are you doing these days?
It's the return was a big deal for me. The last time we talked, I had just got back from knee surgery, and I was just trying to get back to going. Man, when I tell you, I didn't rest on my laurels. I got to going. I came back from knee surgery March of 2021, and boom, took off. There is no quitting me, and that's really what it was. I made a promise to my father back in 2012 when my father passed away that I wasn't going to quit. I had to sit down for a little bit, but, and it's like you said, I mean, I've been around for a long time, man. And I think this year was the year that I really broke out. It was the year that I shocked a lot of people from showing up at OVW to Heroes and Legends wrestling Chris Masters to wrestling at DCCW against Elijah Burke, which our buddy Mike King set that up.
Shout out to Mike King.
To yes, sir, Mike King. To doing all these podcasts and also being a returning guest on your show. Traveling, man, just putting miles on my car and my body, like, and I want more. You know what I mean? Like, and you've been at this for a long time, so you get exactly what I'm talking about. Like, where it's like you wake up in the morning, and all you want to do is let me suit up. It's time to go. Like,
right?
I'm at the gym now. Here it is, 8 o'clock at night, and I got to be at work at 5. You know what I mean? Like, it's when you love this business, you make the necessary sacrifices to get to where you want to get to. And 2022 is going to be the year that people know more about me.
I'm glad you said that because, like I said, I've known you for a while, and I know you got that intentional fortitude, man. You want to work, you want to get out there, you want to make a name for yourself, you want to hit the big splash. But, bro, let's talk about it. Heroes and Legends, Allen County War Memorial Coliseum, Fort Wayne, Indiana. You and Chris Masters. You took Chris Masters to the limit, bro. You took him to the limit. I mean, come on, man. You took him to the limit, bro. I mean, you did it. You're doing the most. You and Sean Black, guys, the Black Knights over there, amped up. You guys are doing the most there. I mean, you just recently had a match with Celtic Nightmare, I'm sorry, for the EHW heavyweight title. And what was that like? That was right before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that was that was up in Elkhart, Indiana.
Yeah, you're making the rounds. I mean, from Indiana to Louisville, Kentucky for OVW. You're making these rounds and you're doing like so much work that I'm telling you, people are going to notice this. You have that. You have a look. You have
Thank you.
the
Thank you
skill.
for
You
that.
have all the tools. I mean, look at you in the gym right now, getting it in. You know, you're on a
Yeah.
podcast talking
Yeah.
about wrestling while you're getting it in, getting ready for wrestling.
Right. Right. Right.
I
That's
mean,
called
man.
wanting it, man.
I mean, I know a lot of people in the industry that don't do that. So, kudos, man. Big kudos.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you.
so I remember you were in the Emerge Outbreak eight, the Outbreak 8 tournament. Can't say that 5 times fast.
Hmm.
Um, tell
Yeah.
us about
Yeah.
that.
So I debuted for Emerge Wrestling and the Outbreak 8 tournament against Braden Lee, who, prior to wrestling me, showed up on AEW Dark.
Hmm.
So I had something to prove in that one. It was like, all right, so you're Mr. AEW Dark. Let me show you
Exactly.
what the Dark Knight can do, bro. And Braden and I we went, he, let's say we took each other to the limit, and Braden won the tournament. So I
Wow.
lost to the man that won the tournament.
So
You
in a
see what I'm
sense,
saying?
you set the tone for the Outbreak 8 tournament
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah, exactly, exactly. And my manager, Alicon House, Hollywood House,
I love
he'll tell
Alicon
everybody. He's
House.
like, Sam Knight, Alicon House is yeah, bro, Alicon. If I can brag on my manager real quick, first of all, Khan is an LA native, bro.
Yep.
Like he's Cali through and through.
When
You
I
feel
met
me?
him, I
So
was at a
that.
DS I was at the DCCW show, the one you weren't at, that I was excited I was going to go to, and
Mhm.
you were there and you weren't there. Um,
And I
I
wasn't.
met him there,
Yeah, right.
and he was doing
Yeah, Khan.
commentary, and bro came in
Yeah.
like he came in the LA Lakers jumpsuit, and I'm like, bro, you in Indianapolis, Indiana, and you sporting
Khan
LA.
is
He
the
goes, no.
truth.
Yes, yes. He was like, yeah, I love that cat, man. Good dude, man. You chose a good guy to tailor your career to help get you where you got to go because he got the gift of gab.
Honestly, bro, I think that I think we chose each other. Like if I'm being real, like sometimes it's forced.
Hmm.
But that wasn't forced, BJ. Like that was like it was organic. And
Hmm.
Khan would tell everybody, he's like, man, Sam really helped my career. I'm like, bro, you helped mine. You know,
Man,
and Khan does a lot of he does a lot of behind the scenes work for me, like from updating my my Sam Knight worker page, not my personal page, my
hmm,
actual Sam Knight page,
yeah.
to doing my highlight video. Excuse me. Sometimes he'll talk to promoters about doing stuff with us together. And Khan is a major reason why I have the relationship I have with Elijah Burke, because Khan is the producer and the right hand man of Elijah Burke for his podcast. You feel
Oh
me?
yeah.
So it's just been blessing after blessing, and a lot of what you see from Sam Knight comes from those those conversations I have with Khan, or those conversations where I or Khan has with me, I should say.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is daily, so you know, like this is daily. Like I look at Khan the way I look at LTP, who is my mentor, the way I look at you as my mentor. Like y'all are guys that are like, and Khan hadn't been in the business very long. Khan didn't get his break until we started doing this thing, and now
Wow.
it's like he became manager of the year in Indiana, bro. Come on now,
I thought he'd been around for a long time. He hasn't been around that long.
Khan, nah, bro, and you can't even
Man,
tell. You can't even tell.
that right
So,
there tells you, ladies and
it's
gentlemen, when you're doing the most, you're doing the most. And when you find a guy who is so in tune with the business, look at that. So in tune with the business, man. Like that's man. You guys chose each other, and that's a good thing.
yeah,
That's
and it's
real,
it's been
real
a
good.
blessing, man. It's been a fun ride too, and now we're doing this whole household productions thing with the World Star Paragon, who is he's a character in his own right. Paragon is one of those dudes that you want to have on your team,
Word.
and so um, we're and honestly. we are rebuilding black factions. You know what I mean? Like when you look at Shane Taylor Productions, those are the guys that we look at. We're like, okay, so y'all making it happen. We gonna make it happen too,
Yes.
and we're gonna do it. And we want to go global like y'all going global. We're not trying to compete with y'all. No, we trying to show that we can make stuff happen too. And
Well,
that's
I'll
and
tell you
I want to
this.
tell you, man.
I know Shane Taylor. I've known Shane Taylor for a long time, and you the kind of cat that he would appreciate hearing that from. Shane watches the podcast. I'm gonna go ahead and when this interview drops, I'm gonna send him the link and tell him to watch his interview. Um, Shane is one of those guys that is very influential in our culture when it
Hmm.
comes to professional wrestling.
Hmm.
Um, he's
Yeah.
he's all about building people up. He's all about helping people. He's all about building those good um, connections with people. And just like Sir Mo with the OIWA, same
Yeah.
thing. The guys like that are really influential in helping out our people of our ethnicity, so to speak.
Hmm. You
So,
see, like when I look at Shane, I look at Shane.
mhm.
O'Shea Edwards is another guy I've
Yep.
worked with who I love. I love O'Shea so much. Um, Caprice Coleman,
Oh man.
you know, Caprice Coleman's a guy like growing up as a preacher's son. I appreciate Caprice Coleman.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He's a guy, and that term ageless. What?
He is
Look
straight
at
up
him,
timeless,
man.
bro.
Like,
He is timeless.
yeah, yeah. Like you look at him, it's like, come on, man. Like Caprice Coleman is that dude that I was watching. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's the guy.
Mhm.
I want to be in there with him. You know what I mean?
And now you
So when
can.
you see, yeah, exactly. And now you're looking at all this up and coming African American talent, and I'm not going to make it about that, but I have to speak on that because that's my culture and that's what I love.
True
But
statement.
when you see all this African American talent and we're doing it the right way, bruh, like you have no choice but to acknowledge what we're doing. You have to, you know.
Look,
So now, go ahead.
Hit Row is another group, another bunch of people that got released by the WWE, and I think they got released because not because they weren't talented, because let's just call it what it is, man. Um, man, they were talented, either on the mic, in the ring, Swerve. Look, bro, I've known Swerve for a long time. That guy can go. He is
Hmm.
phenomenal in the
Hmm.
ring. So to
Hmm.
release those guys and say that you have nothing for them, like, is it because they don't
Nah,
do
there was.
work?
It's just too much. It's just too. It was. Honestly, bro, there's too much talent radiating from that group. You feel
Yep.
me?
Yep.
And and I'm gonna be real. I gotta be real. We don't. You're not gonna look at us and tell us, oh, there's nothing there, bro. We know better than that. We've
We
been hearing
know
there's
better
nothing
than
for us
that.
for years. We've been hearing there's nothing there for years. So we make stuff happen.
Look,
Man, like
you see these
getting
belts behind me?
getting.
All five of these belts behind me. I did that because someone told me that I
Hmm.
couldn't do it. And that's why when me and
Bruh,
OTP,
bruh.
yeah, me and OTP sat down. We said it about you. We said this cat's got he's got all the tools. Let somebody tell him he can't do it and watch him go.
And that's exactly what happened. I got hurt, and I let people say, maybe you're done. Maybe you've got a minimum of 2, 3 years left. Yeah, okay. Watch this,
Hmm.
because there's a legacy. There's a legacy I've got behind me that's watching everything I do. Without me going into details, I got a legacy that's watching everything I do. So when you tell me I can't, I'm gonna look at you, I'm gonna smirk, I'm gonna laugh and go, watch me do it.
Watch me. Yep.
And I'm not afraid to ask questions. I'm not. I'm not afraid to have those conversations that people won't have. We need to normalize having uncomfortable conversations because uncomfortable conversations can make your career take off.
You
Bro,
know,
this is why I've gotten to where I've gotten to.
the fact that you said that shows maturity beyond your age, because in this industry, man, if
Thank you.
what's that saying your mama used to say when you were little? A closed mouth don't get fed. That's
Bro,
so true
bro.
in this industry. So true.
Hmm. bro.
It is
You think
so
I got
true.
these? You think I got put? I didn't get put in these positions because I shut up, dog. Like I shut up
That's
when I
right.
needed to, but I ask questions. It's got to make sense. It has to make sense.
If you don't ask questions, you don't get answers. Closed mouth don't get fed.
Yep.
You got to put
No
your best
sir.
foot forward, and that's real talk, man. That is
Hmm.
so real talk. Like I learned that
Yes sir.
lesson a long time ago. Hanging out with guys like Yokozuna, guys like Sermo, guys like that, guys who whispered in my ear, "Hey, this is what you need to do. This is how you're going to get to where you got to go."
Hmm.
And that's why we imparted information and we imparted knowledge like that to you and to guys, and guys like you, guys like LTP, guys like Willie Mack, guys, guys like that who have all the tools in the world. Guys like TJ Perkins, guys who have all the tools in the world and didn't know how to get there. All they did was ask questions, and I'll look at them.
And that's really what it is. And I told you this last time, and I'll say it again. You and LT were huge influences on me, and like I'm always working my butt off, not just for my legacy and not just for the people that know me, but for because if I fail, people gonna look at y'all and be like, "What's up?" And you gonna be like, "Nah, that ain't nice. That ain't
Nope.
Sam. Get up." I'll drop this bit of information on the podcast. Y'all woke me up at midnight and said, "You can sleep when you're dead. This is what you need to be doing right now."
Oh man, you had to bring that up too. Look, the
Yeah,
reason
bro,
look,
man.
I'll tell you, that same term was told to me once, and it's funny because I tell my I tell my kids, I'll sleep when I'm dead. You know,
Hmm.
I'm a television producer by day, a professional wrestler,
Hmm.
3 days a week. Well, that's a lie.
Hmm.
Professional wrestler every freaking day. I do podcasts 3 nights a
Hmm.
week. I drop interviews all the time. I work here at bodyslam.net, Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm doing all of this stuff, BCW Worldwide, all of this stuff. And my kids are always like, Dad, you were so busy. You were always so busy. And I told them, I'm building an empire. And once I build
Bro.
an empire,
Yep.
you don't have to worry about nothing, and
Bro,
just
listen.
like you, I see you doing that. Your kids, you got your kids going, you know, you talk about taking your kid to cheerleading practice. You're doing, you are a grown ass man doing grown ass man things, and you building a legacy for yourself, for your kids. Dude, I'm proud of you. Kudos, man.
Bro, I tell you, man, it's to be honest with you, it's because you knew my dad. Um,
Hmm.
my dad worked so much up until he got sick. And I never forget, we ran into some hard times. And my dad looked at me, he said, "I will beg, borrow, and steal before I allow you to go to be homeless." And all my life, that is just replayed in my head.
Yep.
So I owe it. I owe it to my legacy, and not just my own, but to the people that are surrounded by me. There's a table that we're preparing. So I'm preparing your seat right now. Your
Yeah.
seat is being prepared on those back bumps. Your seat is being prepared on those arguments I'm having with people. Your seat is being prepared for those flat tires, for those long drives. Waking up at 4 in the morning to go to work at 5, getting off work at 10 o'clock in the morning, driving to Louisville to wrestle for OVW, to drive back home to go back to work at 5 a.m.
Oh,
That's what
dude,
I'm doing. I am establishing that table so you have a seat at the table. And
man.
and the reason why I learned this from even listening in church, you know, that the table's being prepared for us. So when I look at my mentors like you and LT and a few other Kishi, Gangrel, and a few other people, y'all prepared the table. All we had to do was show up and eat.
You know me,
But
man.
the thing
I want to make
was,
sure everybody eat.
and we were just complaining about how to get to the table.
It's
So
so funny you
now,
say that too, because people don't realize it. Okay, fans that are listening to this podcast, fans that are watching it on bodyslam.net, on the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast, on all the cool platforms, Apple, Spotify, Google, Amazon, Anchor, all those crazy things, iHeartRadio, all the people who are listening to this podcast on all of those platforms, I want you to think about something for a second. People work hard 8 to 10, 12, 15 hours a day, right? They're working and they're building their bank accounts, they're building this and that, right? Wrestlers, you see wrestlers, guys who are breaking their backs day after day after day for your entertainment purposes. We're building a legacy, you know? 20
Mhm.
years, 30 years down the line, people are going to look at us and say, wow, that's crazy. They did all of that for our entertainment. I'm going to personally look at it like, wow, I did all of that so my kids didn't have to, you know?
Bro, yo, that's what it is. That's where I am. It's I'm doing this so you don't have to. And the most fulfilling thing in the world is when they look at you and they go, I really appreciate you. That's bigger than a championship. That's bigger than somebody else's child in your face. That's bigger than
Mm-hmm.
traveling the road. All you want to hear is, I appreciate what you did for me. I may have not understood it. I may have not got it. And that's, honestly, that was my dad. Like, I didn't understand a lot of the sacrifice that my dad made for God rest his soul. Right? A lot of the sacrifices he made for me and for a lot of guys in SoCal. Because there's a lot of guys in SoCal that will talk about my father. LT being one of them.
Yep.
You know, like my dad made those long drives to LT's house so LT could put me through hours of hard training. you
That
know
training
what I
came from
mean?
the New Japan trips with the damn Toryumon drills. He
But
tells me the other
listen,
day,
listen.
he says, "Do this for me. Take your kids, not my children, but the guys that I train and stuff like that." He goes, "Run them through a Toryumon drill." And I said to him, "I don't
Mm-hmm.
hate them enough. I don't hate them enough. Durango and those guys in New Japan, they hated us. I mean, they didn't hate us like they didn't like us, but they wanted us to be the very best at what we can do. So they hated us.
Listen,
All
it,
those
it
drills. Oh my
it made
god!
us tough.
I,
But you know what? Y'all passed that down, and I blame you too. Y'all
don't blame
passed
me.
that down to
I didn't do it.
us.
I did not do it. I'm just doing what I was told. I'm paying it forward. Guys like Black Pearl, guys like Graffiti Kid, those guys in California, Aaron Aguilera, Durango Kid, Simon and Noki, all those guys that ran the dojo. Yeah, they didn't like us. They wanted us to be better. They liked us. They wanted us to be better. This I tell my kids this all the time. My only job in life is to be a better parent to you than my parents were to me, and for you to be a
Whoa.
better parent to your kids than I am to you.
Yep. Listen. I had this conversation with one of my boys at work today. I said the goal is to give mine what I didn't get. And it's not
Exactly.
because my parents could. It's not because my parents didn't do it. It's just they worked really, really hard. We lived in LA. I lived in South Central, so yeah, it was a whole different ballgame.
Mm-hmm.
But LT put us through hell, bro. Like, and even to this day, like, quick tidbit information. You and LT don't ever let me get comfortable. Y'all don't. It's like, oh, you were successful. Okay, you didn't work hard, and
I was
that's
told.
how I teach.
I was told this: never rest on your laurels. Never get
Mm-hmm.
complacent. Never get
Mm-mm.
to a point to where you're stagnant. Because when you become stagnant,
Mm-hmm.
look, Yokozuna said this to me, and it dawned on me like last week. And this is like 20 years later that it just dawned on me last week. He said, I want you to know something. This is fun. This whole business, everything you do in this business is fun. The moment it becomes work, get out. And that's it. As long as you're having
Yeah.
fun, the moment it becomes a job, the moment it becomes a hassle, the moment it becomes something you dread doing, get out. And the moment you think you know everything, get out.
Yeah. Yeah. See,
Never be
I
stagnant.
I got the reverse of that, man. Like when I wasn't having fun when I was doing it in the beginning. And I will openly admit that to anybody I've worked with, to promoters I've worked with, to you guys. It was a job. It was like, have to train. Oh, gotta be at wrestling class. Oh, gotta do this. man, I got hurt, and I realized that folks in this business don't give two craps about you. They don't reach out to you.
Mm-hmm.
And here I am, like, man, I'm bending over backwards for all these cats, and ain't nobody talking to me. What's up? And then I had to reevaluate my relationships. And when I tell you I came back with a different mindset, man, I am having fun. If you look at some of those pictures on my Instagram, my Facebook, I am smiling the whole time because I'm having, even when I'm taking bumps, I'm like, bam, oh, this is fun. Like, like I am enjoying this. I get so overjoyed talking about professional wrestling from the aspect of I know what it's like to be pulled away from it. I never want to experience that again. So, and I tell everybody when my opportunity comes and y'all see me on TV, I'm gonna be smiling the same way I'm smiling when I'm working these independent promotions cameras, the same way because I love what I do. I love this business.
Man, that's a good thing. And, I say enough about you, man. You're doing the most. Like I see you working so hard, and it's just like, it's like, when your daughter does something real cool, and you see her doing like a real cool cheer, and it's something that she worked real hard at, and you're just like,
Mm.
don't worry, honey, you're gonna get it. And when she gets it, and she just nails it. You're just like, that's my kid.
Yep, yep. There's that
I
moment.
feel that way right now,
That's
man. Like that's my
that.
boy right there.
That's that Michael Jordan 3-point shot at the buzzer,
Yep.
and then he goes, that's that moment, and that's how I feel about
Man.
my friends. That's how I feel about the guys that I help train. It's like when they succeed. Like I'll use, for example, Gino Rivera is one of my favorite wrestlers on the
Hey,
indie scene
Gino's
right now.
always on this podcast, brother. We love Gino here.
Gino is one of my favorite, and I told him that today. I said, "You're one of my." He's like, "You always look out for me, Sam." I said, "You're one of my favorites," and the reason why Gino is one of my favorites is because he works everybody. People who follow his social media think he's a jerk, and he's one of the nicest people you'll ever meet.
Man.
But he's telling the truth
Hmm.
in everything he's saying. Not to mention, he works his butt off. He negotiates his rate. He gets his shows. He trains his students, and he's not doing it by himself. He's taking his students with him,
You know what?
like paying it forward.
He is such a good person. And I'm gonna tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know Gino Rivera, you need to get from under the rock you're living under. The
Hmm.
guy's been on WWE. The guy has been, he's working hard to get to AEW. He at one time, ladies and gentlemen, applied to 7 different police academies, passed all
Hmm.
everything, and was turned down. Um, he's a small guy. He's a small guy. He's about 165 pounds, soaking wet with 2 pairs of boots on.
So what?
But
Right.
but he has the mentality and he has the drive of a 350-pound rock solid Braun Strowman ass guy. Like he and he's such a I had him and Navajo Warrior on the show. They had this big thing going on in
Hmm.
Arizona where they were gonna have a strap match. And they were back promoing back and forth
Hmm.
from each other. When it was all said and done, Gino was like, "Man, thank you very much for having me on the show. You have no idea how humbled it is to be on this." I'm like, "Dude, what? I'm the one that's. It was an honor to have you on the show." And he's like, "No, no, 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 no. Let me
Hmm.
tell you, it's an honor to be on your show." And I'm like, "No, no, no, no. It's an honor." He's such the good guy, and it's true that people who are genuinely good people affect genuinely good people. And it's good that your circle is full of genuinely good people. In this industry
Yes, sir.
we live in, there aren't too many of us. There aren't too many of
No,
us
not
left.
no, no, no. It's something for nothing now, and it's heartbreaking because we're such good people and we wear our emotions on our sleeves.
Yep.
Being born in July,
We're
cancers, being
cancers.
born in July, we carry our emotions on our sleeves, and we're trying to save everybody and help
And you can't.
everybody, and then we get our hearts broken,
Oh my
and
God. I was telling
like
someone
you and I
that
were
today.
having, hmm
I legitimately
you
was
and I
telling
were having
someone
this
that today.
conversation. We were having this conversation off the air, and I was telling you about things I've seen, and how it breaks my heart sometimes because it's like I'm not jealous by any means, but dang man,
Mhm.
when is it my turn? But I don't quit, and I'm gonna keep standing and applauding people as they ascend to that next level because in my mind, when I make it there, y'all gonna be clapping for me. And even if
Yep.
you're not, I'm still gonna applaud you. I'm still gonna say congratulations. I'm still gonna tell you I love you because that's how I feel. And that's not an act. That's just who I am. I want to see people win. I want to see them be successful.
You know what? You saying that right now, it makes me feel all warm and tingly inside because, quite honestly, man, there aren't that many people in this industry that want to put other people over. I started doing this podcast simply because I wanted to start putting people over. I wanted to
Mhm.
call up people and say, "Hey, man, I want you to come on the show." People are emailing me all the time. "Hey, I want to come on your show. I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this." And I always leave them with this simple message: be better today than you were yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Be better tomorrow than you are today. And
Yes, sir.
always pay it forward. Because at the end of the day, if you're not pulling someone up with you, you're dragging everybody down with you.
Yep. And honestly, bro, it's no truer statements are said than that because I look at the array of talent that I have been surrounded with, and a lot of people will be like, if it wasn't for Sam, if it wasn't for Sam, and I'm like, to God be the glory. It ain't me. Man, can you take some Alacon? He's like, will you take some credit? No,
Like, nope.
because the moment I allow myself, I can't. I can't because I'm not gonna allow it to go to my head. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what I've done. I've done a couple TV spots for WWE before. Thank God. I'm working towards those other opportunities, but that don't go to my head. It ain't gonna change who I am. Like you can call me and say, "Hey man, can we just talk about life? Let's talk about life."
And those are the best
You know?
conversations. Those are
Yeah,
simply the
yeah.
very best conversations you can have with anyone in any walk of life. Like, hey, man, you know what? Check this out. I was just thinking about the meaning of life. I've literally had
Hmm.
God, I'll tell you right here on this podcast, and I'm going to put him on blast. Homicide. I love Homicide. Me and D, friends for life. I love that man. There have been times to
Hmm.
where like we would just talk, we would just get on the phone and be like, "Hey, bro," like I tell this story. Black G's and Homicide, two of my closest friends, tag
Hmm.
partners, buddies, brothers. One morning I got up and I was just like, "Damn, I'm so blessed. I have such amazingly awesome people around me all the time, and I feel like I don't give enough back." So I composed this nice text. Beautiful text. Beautiful text. I literally spent 5 minutes writing this text before I sent it. Proofreading
Right.
it, like all my feelings, like I was deep in my feels. And I
Hmm.
sent to Homicide, right? I sent to Homicide, I sent to G's, I sent to LTP, the most influential man in my career, right? In my life. Homicide hits me back up. You good, bro? like I'm like, I'm like, yeah, man. I just wanted to tell you that I appreciate you. He was like, but you good, right? You like you good? You good? You good? I'm like, why can't I just tell you I appreciate you? He was like, all right, man, I appreciate you too. You just had me worried for a second, right? So
Hmm.
the next thing, I mean, the next like hour or two goes by, and I get the same response from from Black G's. He's like, "Yo, what's good, bro? You good?" I'm like, "Damn,
Hmm.
well, I can't just tell you how I feel." Uh, and LTP, my brother, man, I'll tell you, we have this running gag going. I'm the first person that will text him happy birthday. I will wait, literally, I will stay up until 11:59 and 59 seconds and call his phone or send him a text. And he does the same thing. So he upped the ante. He started posting on my Facebook page all these little
Hmm.
long drawn out messages about my birthday, right? I'm like, this
Hmm.
this dude, like he's the only man that always has me crying. Like legit. I'll say on the
Mm-hmm.
podcast, I don't give a damn. I'm a man, I cry. He always get me.
Bro, me too. Me
Always
too,
get
bro.
me.
Me
Always.
too,
I be like,
bro.
I hate you sometimes, man. And he get me all the time. So I got him going on his birthday. I sent him this long text, and I plastered all over Facebook. I made a Snapchat. I made a TikTok. I did all. I was on the podcast talking about it. I did all this stuff. Right. He sends me this message, and he's like, "I want you to know that I hate you." I'm like, "How you hate me?" He's like, "Because no other person in my entire life has loved me more than you love me. Simply put, that's my brother. I will go to hell and back 3 times over, twice on Sunday for him." You know, and he feels the same way.
Mhm.
And we feel the same way about you. We talked about that the other day,
We
as a matter of fact.
and see, I love y'all both, man. Y'all both are y'all are my guys. Y'all my mentors. I said to him yesterday, we were having a conversation. I said, bro, I'm tired of being the best kept secret because that's what someone said about me. They said Sam Knight is one of the best kept secrets in the Midwest. I said, I'm tired of being the best kept secret or one. He said, embrace that.
Yep.
He was like, man, you but he was like, you better embrace that. And when he said that to me, because at first it was like, I told him that it made me mad to hear that because I'm like, I'm out here, bro. Like I'm out here doing it. I'm out here. He goes, Ike, you better embrace that, bro. Make the best of that.
Don't you hate it?
He's like,
He's always
because
right.
yeah.
He's
And I'm just like,
always
and
right.
the thing is, he said it. He said it in that cool voice to where you're just like, all right, dog.
And then
All
like you
right,
get off the
dog.
you
You
get off
right.
the phone with him. Like, look, he'll say something like that, and you'll be like, "Yeah, man, you're right. You're right." Then you get off the phone with him, you be like, "Oh, he's right."
You right. Ooh, you right. Ooh, you right.
Oh,
But yeah, man. I mean, it's an honor to me. It's an honor to have gentlemen like y'all as my mentors. To be
hey,
like
man, we
today.
it's an honor. It's an honor for us to be able to give back to somebody, and we don't just. I'm gonna shoot straight with you. We don't just give to everybody. Like I'm just
Oh, I
gonna be real
know.
with you.
I know.
We don't just
I
give to
know.
everybody, and the reason why we don't give to everybody is because some people don't know how to receive.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, and
Or they
I
expect. They expect it.
yes. There's certain people in this industry that I know if I'm having a crisis of faith, so to speak, in this business, after talking to them for like 3 minutes, bro, Shad Gaspar was one of those dudes. Like rest in peace,
Yeah.
Shad. He was one of those dudes. Like I don't know how he knew. Even now, and it's crazy because like I was having a little issue the other day, and I was really like I was really depressed, and I was scrolling through Twitter, and Shad has been dead. He has been gone for like 3 years almost. Right? Why I find a tweet that he sent like 3 years ago in my inbox just randomly. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
damn, he just hit me hard right there.
Mm-hmm.
And like he ain't been here for like 3 years. And he just no for 2 years he hit me hard with that one. Like, wow. Like I needed that. Like wow. You know? So when you got and I always tell people my circle is so small, it's a dot,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And those people will be your ride or dies, the ones that will always support you, good or bad, fat, skinny, slim, tall, short, whatever. They will always support you. And I tell people this, and I'm going to tell you this too. You may be the very best kept secret on the indie scene, not just the Midwest, on the indie scene. And you may have haters. People are going to hate. But I'm going to tell you something. A hater is a fan in denial.
Yes. Amen, Doc.
And I
Amen.
want you to think about that for a
Amen.
second. Ladies and
Yes,
gentlemen, I want
sir.
you to think about that for a second. Because if someone is hating on you so much that they on Facebook, just go on, just look at your pages. They on Twitter, they on Instagram, they on Snapchat. They trying to find all this dirt. They looking at all these places and they just look at all this stuff. If someone is researching you that much, they are a fan. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm living rent free in your mind.
man, yes,
That's what I tell
yes. The
folk.
young bucks say
I'm
it
living
all the
rent free in
time.
your mind.
The young bucks say it
Rent
all the
free. I'm
time.
just chilling.
We up in here ain't paying nothing. Straight up. So with that being said, let these people know where they can find you every week, man. Where can they find you on your socials, man? Where your next wrestling show is? Let the people
Uh,
know they can find Sam Knight,
well,
the
you can find
man.
me on face. You can find me on Facebook. Uh, Facebook Sam Knight or Right Hand of God Sam Knight. On Twitter, Knight Domini, and that's Domini. Instagram Knight's Honor. The next booking I have is January 8th, Emerge Wrestling in Trafalgar, Indiana. And then on January 15th, I'm debuting in Jefferson, Indiana for Dream Wrestling. That's a big one for me. I'm
Ooh,
excited about that. Yeah, that's going to be fun.
yeah.
January 22nd, I will be in Elkhart, Indiana for EHF. And on January 28th, I come back to Terre Haute, Indiana for Hybrid Championship Wrestling against Jeffrey Johns. So January is a very packed month for me. Fans who are following me, thank you so much for all your support. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you for your love. Thank you for buying my shirts, buying my merchandise on my social media. Um, um, for folks who are just hopping on the train for the first time, trust me, hold on, it's gonna be fun. We got some great destinations to go to, and I promise you, I won't let you down. And for the folks who hate me, keep on hating. I'm gonna love you anyways.
Yes,
To God be
sir.
the glory, and I am appreciative of all of you who look at, who watch, who pay attention, who pay for a ticket. And I promise you, this story is far from over. DJ, thank you for being who you are to me.
Man, all
Thank you for
day.
being that brother. I appreciate you, and I love you
Yeah,
to death, brother.
we
I
got the same
do.
birthday. We gotta look out for each other. We born on the same
Yes,
day.
sir. Yes,
Damn.
sir.
Y'all don't
Yes,
know. That's a
sir.
big thing. I legitly only know 4 people with the same birthday.
Hmm.
Legitly only know 4 people with the same birthday, and you were one of them. So you're the most
Yeah,
important one. So hey,
I
all
appreciate
good,
that, bro.
all good.
Yes,
Speaking of
sir.
birthdays, today
Twinsies.
is today is Sexy Chino's birthday. I gotta shoot him a text.
I already did, bro. You better get on that.
I know. I
You
just thought
better
about
get
that
on
right
that.
now. Oh man, he gonna be smiling. He gonna be like, "What's up with that?" Oh man. Hey, anyway, man. Hey, thank you very much for joining me on this amazing edition of the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast, man.
Thank you for having me, bro.
Um, it's always an honor and a privilege to be able to share the stage with you. Hopefully,
Same.
Mike King will holler at your boy because Mike
Make
King
that
did holler at
happen.
me today. So yes, yes, sir. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here on the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast, sponsored by BodySlam.net. Ladies and gentlemen, you want to become a Slamtastic member of the family? Well, head on over to www.slamchats.com. You can support the great guys, the women and men who work here at this awesome BodySlam.net. The amazing people who work here who bring you all the scoops, behind the scenes stuff, provide you all the amazing podcasts, the very best news, and everything on the internet right now, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us on the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. For your boy, Sam Knight, the right hand of God, your boy, the franchise Double B Bad Blood. And with that being said, we are out of here.